Hello everyone, my name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. Slowly making our way through the Van Halen catalog, we are now at Women and Children First. If you're one of my regular viewers, you'll know when it comes to David Lee Roth, I'm kind of playing catch up, trying to fill in the David Lee Roth era. I've already covered the first two albums. This would be album number 3. And I'm going to say it flat out right up here at the front. I like album number 3 better than I liked album number 2. There are some songs on this album that I'm not a fan of. And I'm going to be completely honest, when it comes to Van Halen, especially the David Lee Roth era of Van Halen, the first, what would be, 5 albums, I believe it was, 80, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, a gap for 80, nothing in 83, and then again in 84. When you look at that in there, they banged out too many albums too fast, and I really think they put too much filler on their albums. I think that if the American record industry had been running a little differently and still running on the old days of doing singles with B-sides, I think that, I'm going to say this right up front, that Van Halen 2 and Women and Children First should have been put together, and certain tracks should have been pulled off and put as B-sides instead. That is really what I think should have been done. And then at the end of the David Lee Roth era, they could have released all the songs that we didn't, all the B-sides kind of thing. Here's your B-side collection or whatever. And I'll get into this as I go through and I'll explain. So the album opens up with "And the Cradle Will Rock." This song is huge. This song still gets major radio play to this day. And the cradle will rock when the cradle will rock. I said rock out. I said rock out. All right. So, great song. I don't really need to dwell on that any longer. I mean, this song is just a perfect way to open up this album. From there, we go to "Everybody Wants Some." This is another killer song off this album. Both of these songs were blistering tracks. Definitely deserve major radio play, because "Everybody Wants Some" still gets major radio play to this day, man. Everybody wants some. I want some too. Everybody wants some. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, these are just songs that are two different songs, though. That's the best part. They're two different types of songs, And "The Cradle Will Rock" is definitely like, really heavy, kind of, the headbangers. And then the "Everybody Wants Some" is for your party people, man. Like, David, I will say that Van Halen did a really good job of kind of straddling that line in that metal scene. They were not a metal band, but they definitely were heavy enough and hard enough that they could have been thrown into metal. They were just smart enough to keep their shit more rock instead, which allowed them to go the way they did. But when you look at Van Halen and you look at Motley Crue, realistically, the only difference in musical stylings, and I'm talking overall tone, style, put together kind of thing, when you look at the original couple albums from Motley, you look at the original couple albums from Van Halen, stuff like that, Shout at the Devil. "Everybody Wants Some," "Shout at the Devil." They're both on very comparable lines with their tones and shit like that, right? So I'm not saying they're the same songs, folks, so don't go getting bent out of shape. I'm not saying that Motley Crue is in the same league as, Van Halen. Let's be honest, okay? But what I'm trying to say is, "And the Cradle Will Rock" is very easily, like I said, "Shout at the Devil." "Everybody Wants Some," girls, girls, girls. But hard rock band, Motley Crue, heavy metal band. Just splitting hairs, basically. "Fools," I don't like the intro to "Fools. Like, almost the first minute of the song could be cut off. If you took off the first little bit of "Fools," the screwing around at the beginning, and went just right into the actual song itself, be a much better song. Really, but for me, for the most part, it's kind of just an album filler. A decent album filler, but an album filler. It'd be a lot more if it wasn't for that stupid intro. Then you got, or that intro should have been cut and put as a separate track. So then it goes into the actual song when, the song gets good. Romeo Delight. I don't like the title of the song, but the song itself I actually find very enjoyable. I really got into it. Really good kind of deep kind of cut off this album. Tora Tora is just kind of a filler. Now, what I was saying about Fools, how they should have just cut the little bit off the beginning, kind of, and put it on its own separate track. That's what they did with Tora Tora versus the next song, Loss of Control. Tora Tora, I have no use for it. It basically killed space on the tape, because this would have been more of a cassette release back when this was done. Vinyl would have still been a thing, but cassette definitely would have been a bigger kind of thing because it was more transportable than vinyl was, especially by this point. Cars had their tape decks. You had portable ghetto blasters going on, stuff like that. So by 1980, tapes definitely were taken off a lot more. So I would think of this more in the realm of cassette. Like I was saying though, and then we get into Loss of Control. I'm not a big fan of Loss of Control. I get where they were going with it. I really don't like when bands do songs that are supposed to be about losing control and they make the music kind of sound like it's losing control a little bit, like where it's jittery and shaky and it's kind of like back and forth and kind of all rickety like. And that's what they do on Lost Control. But the problem is they always do it in a way where it's practiced, it's rehearsed. It doesn't have that organic kind of lost control vibe. This is kind of a song where I think if they had jammed it out more and instead of perfecting it in the studio, had done it in a single take, jammed it out perfectly, and jammed out like 3 or 4 takes, maybe even a 4th or 5th kind of take, and then pick the best take out of the lot, and that's the one you release. I really think that's what they should have done with Lost in Control. I think it would have worked out a lot better than it did. Take Your Whiskey Home. Oh, as I got a train going on in the background. That's great. Take Your Whiskey Home. Great having that train in the background. Adds atmosphere to this song in this case because this is just one of those good songs. It starts off with the acoustic. It's got that little jam thing going on in there where it gives that kind of flavor that they do where it's kind of got that old show tuney Rat Pack kind of vibe going on. And Take Your Whiskey Home is kind of that mixed with a little bit of bluegrassy flair. And then all of a sudden it kicks into a rock song, It's great because it keeps that bluesy, bluegrassy kind of vibe going on throughout the whole thing. And it just got this great kind of vibe to it. Like, to me, this was, Take Your Whiskey Home was probably the big find on this album for me. Was the one I really kind of got in there and went, all right, this is a really cool track. This is a really good album cut, man. It's one of those hidden gem kind of tracks. Could This Be Magic? I hate it. I absolutely hate Could This Be Magic. This is one of those ones that ranks right up there with Ice Cream Man, and I can't remember the track off of Van Halen 2 that just irked me with this. I'm not a fan of Could This Be Magic. Just no. I'm gonna... Yeah, no. Let the sirens do it for me. Okay, moving on. It's a simple rhyme. This is a really good tune. This actually closes out the album really good. I thought it was going to be a cheesy, cheap shit kind of throwaway song with the title that it had. And it's not. It's actually a really good, solid tune that closes out this album really nice. It was another really good hidden gem kind of track on here. Realistically, I don't like Could This Be Magic. I don't like Loss of Control. I think it could have been better. Tora Tora I don't count for anything. And Fools I think could have been better as well. That's the worst I have to say about this album. This is, compared to Van Halen 2, this is a very solid album, man. I will definitely listen to this one more than I listen to Van Halen 2. It's still not going to be as much as I listen to Van Halen 1. They still did not capture the magic of Van Halen 1 on here. But this is a really good, solid album. And I really, really kind of regret that it took so long for me to pick this one up. I think I would have liked this one a lot more if I would have picked it up sooner. Those are my thoughts. Those are my views. Those are my opinions. Let me know what you guys think. That's what the comment section is for, you know. Tell me, what is your favorite song off this album? What song on this album really gets you going? Am I too hard on Van Halen too? Something tells me I think I may be being too hard on Van Halen too. I don't know. Anyways, while you're on your way down to the comment section, there is a link down there that'll take you to Patreon. Please click on that link. It'll take you over. It gives you a chance to throw me some money because YouTube makes it too hard for me to try and make money this way because I just don't get the viewership. They have no problem putting commercials on my videos, but if God forbid they give me 10 cents for a commercial. Or a tenth of a cent for a commercial. I'll take 1 cent for every 20 views. Anyways, like button, subscribe button, bell for notifications. Those will help increase my viewership. Thanks, please. Other than that, folks, peace, love, take care.